I don't do anything. This is it.
Oh,
This is it. Hello, guys. Hey, we're live.
oh,
I am
hello.
here with Maximilian Haver.
Hello.
Yay! Thanks for joining me, Max.
Thanks for having me.
Actually, this was your idea.
Well, yeah, but you're still having me, share me on with your group and your
Yeah. With my people.
Yeah.
You're my people. You're my family, my soul family. My Facebook soul family. Hi, guys. So we're going to talk about heaven on earth, heaven as earth.
Mm-hmm.
And to celebrate the occasion, we have here Essence of the Earth.
Heaven on
Heaven on earth. You see that up there at the top of the screen? Heaven on earth. How cool is that? All right. So we're just going to... Yeah, you want some?
Okay.
Oh, it's so yummy, delicious. By the way, the people coming to the retreat are going to get a nice little taste of this lovely, lovely scent.
Yeah.
All natural, all pure, no chemicals.
That's
Okay,
good.
heaven is earth. So I'd love for you guys who are with us to type in the comments and share your vision. Hi, Rena. Hi, beautiful. Share your vision of what your version is of heaven on earth. So where are we now?
Where are we now?
With heaven on earth, heaven as earth.
What?
Well, first, let me give a background.
Okay.
This is funny doing it with somebody else.
I just thought it'd be fun. I don't know.
I have no idea what that means. I don't know what musia. I don't know. Neural. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Apologies. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you could elaborate. Okay, so back in the day, before everything went down on this planet, it's my understanding that this was a place that was actually very heaven-like. And, there are lots of myths and stories about what happened. Some have truth. Well, really, I think all of them probably have a nugget of truth. Anyway, the powers that be kind of took control, and we no longer experience heaven on earth the way it used to be. Again, this is my understanding. You might have your own version of knowing within your heart. So it's my soul mission to restore Earth back to her original state as heaven. And I know I'm not alone in this mission. I don't say that from some kind of ego place or anything. I know there are lots of other people on the journey with me. And that's, in fact, why I want you to share your version of heaven on earth in the comments below so that we can all amplify our creations together.
So what does heaven on earth look like to you?
Yeah.
Do you have a vision that you have that you're creating?
So it's more of a feeling for me.
Okay.
But there are some specific things, and I don't always remember all of them in one conversation. Maybe I should write them all down at some point. I know you told me to do that.
If you want.
If I want, So what it feels like to me is joy. Yes, Lisa. Love. And people having interactions that come from a place of love rather than all the anxiety and fear and unworthiness and, all of the convolution that people carry around within their beings, sometimes myself included. All of these things that really prevent us from our pure self-expression. Yes, harmony and peace. Absolutely. Thank you, Kendra. All of these, maybe higher vibration emotions, that is part of my feeling when I feel into it. Mm-hmm. That's how heaven on earth feels to me. Mm-hmm. Now, organic gardens, pure food, clear skies, clean water, pure air, all of these pristine conditions that we could have on this planet if everyone would get together and play nice.
Right.
Yeah.
So the question is how do we get from what we're experiencing to this? What's that transition?
Well, first, within your own life, that inner work, looking at your shadow, addressing and releasing, transmuting any density that's within our beings, that inner work is the very first step. I don't think we can get there without everyone taking responsibility for their creations, for their lives. You know, that has to happen.
Right.
And then we can come together.
Because even if we were put on a planet that's heavenly, if we're carrying all the same things we're carrying now, we're just going to create what we've created. Like that's
right.
Like we're just making choices based on these patterns that we're embodying. And even if we were on a place of heaven, we would repeat those patterns unless we release them.
Yeah.
So that's why it's very, very important to work through all that stuff.
Yeah, that's so important. If we, you know, because people obviously have come together on this planet, but because of all of their individual inner stuff, when they come together as a group, that just gets amplified sometimes. And so you see in the government systems and corporations or businesses, whatever, people who are coming together who haven't done their inner work, who haven't cleaned themselves. What are they creating? Then they're just, you know, creating whatever's on the inside together with other people, and it's amplified in that way. So that's why I say it has to start with our inner work. Yeah.
Now, does this have anything to do with, you shared a bit in one of the channelings about a harmonized matrix?
Oh, yeah.
Does that have anything to do with heaven as earth?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. You're so smart.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the new harmonized matrix means that we can all participate in our individual creations, and rather than having them clash against each other or having it create an imbalance where one party wants to get control so that they can implement their creations, the harmonized matrix means that we can all have our creations no matter what they are and still live together in harmony, because it's not about getting control. We each get to create. We each get to, you know, be fully in our creations and not have, you know, some powers that be take over our creation because it doesn't go along with what they're creating and they have the power.
Right.
So it's much more balanced.
And I think in that you have like part of the understanding of what we experience now and the compassion for what they're doing is that they're wanting to create what they're choosing. And because of how we share our experience, one clashes with another because we share time and space and density, dimension. So if they're wanting, you know, however their creation to look, with them ruling and having people like, you know, serve and assist them, their understanding is that they have to constrict and suppress other creations so that theirs doesn't get disrupted. And so having the compassion for what they're choosing, and the solution is not to resist or destroy or suppress their creations, but rather bringing a new creation, which allows each to have their own, right? Their own expression and experience. Yeah. And you're having a personal sort of journey with this, bringing in something new. Did you want to share about that?
Okay. I didn't know we were going to get into this, but all right. Why not?
It's all related.
Yeah. This is something I've shared with the master creators, like the inner circle in the creation temple. I'm integrating this powerful aspect of myself that's mostly been at work, you know, out in other realms and realities, like more etheric realms. I don't know that this aspect has ever been in a physical body before. And I'm integrating it into my human form. And my nervous system and my physical body, I've really been working with those parts of myself to have them accept and allow this aspect, because it's so, the energy of it's so huge, so powerful, that it blitzes out my nervous system a little bit from time to time. And you know, all the inflammation stuff that I've been talking about. And, I don't know if you can see my neck, but there's a big red blotch. Anyway, in a way, for me, it is bridging heaven on earth, because that aspect of myself is very heavenly, if you will. And as I integrate that aspect, I experience more of my own personal heaven on earth. But don't worry, you guys, when I'm integrated with that aspect, I'm not going to stop doing this, because my job isn't complete until everyone experiences heaven on earth. I'm not just doing this for myself, right? So do you have questions that could assist the understanding of this?
What did you share about your gift and how that parallels what's going on? The gift that you're receiving.
Oh, I haven't shared that with anyone.
Oh.
I might wait until I share that with my master creators and get a little bit more clear on how to explain that.
Well, I guess maybe the idea with that is that you're not constricting what either part of yourself is creating, rather you're bringing in something that harmonizes what both are creating. So you're not, it's not through a method of constriction, rather it's a method of bridging. So bringing,
like the new harmonized matrix that we're creating on this planet.
Because in a way, like, even if we had heaven on earth now and everyone's in their power, everyone creating something different would cause, you know, a lot of things to clash. Like it's just a nature of a shared experience. When everyone's creating, there's this clashing because of how you're sharing the experience. So unless there's something to bridge those experiences so that it's not disruptive, then it just gets expressed that way. So that's, you know, my understanding of it anyway.
No, you do a really great job of explaining how this works.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarity.
Yeah, so we would, you know, we would still have certain shared experiences that are harmonious, right? So whether it's sharing, you know, a view of the landscape or standing by someone that's your friend and having a good time with them, but your other outward experiences might be different in this expression, because what you're creating, let's say you're creating galactic disclosure for yourself, and so you have experiences physically with galactic races or whatever, and then other people aren't in that same space. They don't have that same resonance, or they have certain constrictions around that they're still working through. They might not experience that at the same time, even if you're standing side by side with each other, which people have shared stories of that, where certain people in people in a crowd experience that and other people don't. So there are expressions of it, but having more of a collective template for that, rather than isolated experiences dependent on what you've set forth at individual level. So
hey guys, I want to thank you for your comments. I'm not reading them all because I'm being present with Max too, but I will go back later and read them and comment. Thank you for sharing your visions and versions of heaven on earth. I actually, if it's okay, I want to talk with you about our relationship and how that's an example of heaven on earth.
Oh, okay.
Is that cool? All right.
Okay.
You're open, I know. So I've never had a relationship like this before. In all my other relationships, I had expectations of my partner. I was looking to my partner to fulfill certain things within me. And when I met Max, it was like, well, first, before I met Max, a couple days or a month or something before I met Max, I went through this huge inner child healing. My friend Wendy Rose, who is actually like an inner child therapist, took me through this amazing, oh, you like the haircut? I did it, Shara. I cut his hair. I think it looks really cute. Okay. Cool. My friend took me through this powerful inner child healing session, and it was like I merged with my inner child, and I promised to take care of her and stand by her, and it was the deepest work I'd ever done with my inner child. Then I met Max, and I was kind of from the beginning pretty surrendered. I didn't really have a lot of expectations about a relationship. I had just been in a very brief relationship before that, and I had done my inner work around relationships and just really surrendered everything. And so when we first met, I didn't have a lot of like desires, like, okay, I want to have this long-term relationship and live together and travel the world together, you know, whatever, whatever people want to do when they meet their partner. And the way Max carried himself, like, didn't allow me to like hook into his energy, which is what a lot of people do when they meet each other and fall in love and want to be in a relationship with that person. They hook into each other's energy. Why are you laughing?
Because I just heard fall in love. I'm like, don't you want to rise in love?
There you go. See? We have such a crazy paradigm about love and marriage and partnership. It's ridiculous.
Because you're whole and complete in yourself with love within your own being.
Yeah.
And what you share is a beautiful expression, but it's not a foundation. It's not required. It's not it's not a limitation.
Yeah.
Right. What you share is beyond an individual expression.
Yeah.
It's a collective expression.
So this is all about heaven on earth, I promise.
Yes.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So Max taught me about something called energetic reaching. And I did a Facebook Live on Valentine's Day with Jennifer Escalera. We talked about self-love, and I talked about energetic reaching. And this is a really powerful concept in creating heaven on earth, because what it requires is for us to be whole and complete within ourselves, for us to realize and remember that, and not have expectations of the other person, not have expectations of the relationship, allow the other person to be who they are, to do what they want, how they choose to spend their time, whatever. And I had to work through all of that with Max. Like things came up for me, you know, judgments and some expectations. And because he was so solid in his own energy, it allowed me to look at myself when I was triggered and say, oh, I didn't know I had that kind of expectation. Oh, and it allowed me to practice being whole and complete within myself. And this is the easiest, smoothest relationship now. We do share a home together now. You know, it all just kind of happened. I didn't plan any of it. It just kind of unfolded because I surrendered and allowed the flow. We don't fight. You know, I'm not a fighter anyway. So that never really worked for me when partners would try to fight.
Yeah.
We're happy together.
We play.
We play a lot together.
Oh yeah.
It's heaven on earth for me, truly. And it's funny because Max's sensitivities are very different from mine. I'm an empath. I'm ultra sensitive. All my senses are like ultra sensitive. And Max is very stable. And I always thought I wanted to be with someone who was sensitive like I was, so they could understand me. And I'm just really grateful that you're not, because you don't get triggered when I'm triggered, and you just hold that safe, loving space for me. It's amazing. I feel really, really blessed to share time with you. And our commitment to each other is really just our commitment to ourselves and our own personal journeys.
We share where we are in this moment, and when we're complete, we'll be complete.
Yeah. Thank you, honey. We just kissed on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Okay. See, we like to play and have fun. It's really great. Yeah. So my point with sharing that story is that you can have heaven on earth in your life. In your almost 2 years, Kendra. Longest relationship I've ever had, too. My point is that we can have heaven on earth in our everyday lives, and it's how we create it, and it has everything to do with taking personal responsibility for our own inner journeys. What are you laughing at now?
Oh, it's
okay. Anything you want to share about that?
Yeah. I was sitting with the idea of like how this actually comes to fruition for a collective experience.
Heaven on earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And why our inner work is so important. Not only in our own like reflection of our own experience, but also how we share with others and how we express and how we create. And I realized that like everything that we create on all the different levels of ourselves have certain perceptions, certain perspectives, certain understandings, and they're all different, right? Like your nervous system is different, has a different understanding than your ego has a different understanding than your I am present. Like all these parts of yourself have different understandings and perceptions and perspectives. And as you go through all these experiences and you rise above the density that you've gone through, that you have that mastery in, that you release, that you clear these patterns, it allows all those different parts of yourselves to see the greater picture, to see more of yourself, to have understanding and compassion for those other parts of yourself, because you're bridging and working with integrating and aligning all those energies together. And so in a way, it's creating that harmony within yourself that you're able to then have a more cohesive, more aligned creation. And then that gets reflected out into the collective experience. And so more and more that people choose that and actively are choosing to rise above that density, to clear, to release, to stand in that mastery, to embody that presence and that radiance, it has more momentum for the collective to experience that. So it has a templative sort of progress that it sets up, and then eventually it comes to fruition.
So as each individual does it for him or herself, they create a template for others to use.
And it adds to that momentum. And it also has all the different degrees of constriction and limited understandings included within that. So when individuals are there, it's the creations are able to account for that balance of energy. Okay, so because you experience and embody and live that information as you go through it and rise into that mastery and release and clear, that template then has that information to balance those energies for when this comes up with harmonizing. It has the information to harmonize.
And for the collective to use.
Right.
Okay.
So it's all parts of the process are connected in that way.
Yes. And thank you for bringing all those pieces
together. Right, and that's why the individual clearing and the mastery is so important, because that is the mechanic that gives the collective thing that pattern and that creation set into motion and that information.
Yeah. And that's why our individual work is so important, our inner work. Like, I guess I want to encourage you guys, don't ever think that what you're going through and working through is of no consequence. It has tremendous value. And when you're doing it for yourself, you're creating templates for the collective to use. And that's a big deal. And for me, that's like the where the rubber hits the road. That's the nitty gritty of the creating heaven on earth. Yeah, great. I write down my vision and I share it with other people and la, 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 it's all beautiful.
Right.
But when you can apply it to your everyday life and create templates for others to use as you release and clear and transmute, that is really powerful.
Right. It's all about bridging creations to create and have a sustainable harmony in life, the symbiosis. So let's say if you want something, right, there's a very very direct, constrictive, suppressive manner. You can steal something, right? Or with a more harmonious and aligned manner, you can receive something as a gift, right? And in the end, you get the same thing, but it's the balance of energy. And it's also when there is that harmony, so if you're creating it and the thing that you're receiving from is also creating it, which is the harmony of it, then that energy is balanced right away. There isn't like a karma set in motion that you need to balance.
I like how you, that's nice.
Right, because the energy's met in that very moment.
Yeah.
So it's the creation and the fruition of the creation are at the same time, and there isn't the karma to balance with that because it's already come to fruition.
You guys getting this? This is gold. This is really good.
Right. So
I think they got it right.
So that's why harmony is such a substantial energy, because it foregoes that whole process of having to have even positive creations. If you have this positive creation hasn't come to fruition, now you have this energy out there and you're waiting for it, and then you have to wait for it to come to fruition, and then that energy's cleared, and then you have constrictive creations where if you did something harmful to someone, then they have to balance that energy and return it to you, and then there's this whole process of waiting and all these things that happen in the meantime.
Yeah.
And so having the harmony and the creation met in the same moment, it dissolves that process.
Yeah.
So
I like how you put that. That's good.
And so that's why within yourself, it is so key to find that harmony for all parts of yourself to interact and communicate and align. And if they genuinely are creating things different than you're creating from your perspective, you have to then bring in a bridge to bridge those creations so they are harmonious, rather than trying to force part of yourself to come into line, right? Because then you're setting a constrictive energy, and then this energy has to come back and be balanced, and it's the whole process again, right? The constriction and suppression leads into cycles of having to be balanced, whereas the harmony is met in the moment that it's created, because both are creating the same thing.
Yeah. So that harmonized matrix is really key for creating heaven on earth.
Which is based on the individual being harmonized within themselves.
Yes. Yeah, so it starts with yourself, and then you can get together with other like-hearted, like-minded people and share your creations and amplify them for each other, which is what we do in the Creation Temple. Mm-hmm. That's what that's all about.
Yeah, integrating soul aspects, communicating with parts of your body and your mind and your heart and your energy body and all the things you experience, which, whether or not you identify with all of that, it is part of your energy field, right? It's part of what's set in motion in your individual experience. And so to navigate that, you have to work with all your parts. You have to work with life, right?
I didn't realize I had so many parts of myself. Been working with my nervous system, my body, my I am presence, my source, my soul, and on and on.
And once there's harmony, then it's not a lot of work, because everything just works together, and there isn't like having to focus on everything. But until it gets to that point, you're still working with the orchestra there, trying to get all the strings playing the same
conductor. This is a conversation about integrating your soul aspects, and I did put my human aspect in charge of this integration process, and so I'm experiencing all these things at the human level, which is very fascinating. I'll just use that word for now. And it's intense. It's intense sometimes, especially, I mean, I was going to say, especially being here in Sedona where the energies are amplified, I don't know what you guys are going through where you're living, and I don't want to take away from your experience by saying Sedona is so much more intense than anywhere else. I don't know. It is intense here though. And for those of you who are watching who think you want to live here, just want to give you a heads up that you're put through the fire. You have to look at your stuff or you don't make it here. Sedona kicks you out. It's true. Like, I heard that when I first got here, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And as longer I'm here, like, that is so true.
Yeah, I thought this was such a cool, fun place, and I thought people were just being, they're just going through their stuff. And then the first day I moved in, I had stuff come up. So.
Yeah. And you worked through it.
Oh yeah.
And now you have your heaven on earth.
Well, it's a nice start.
It's a good start.
Yeah, it's a start.
You get to be with me. That's a good start.
Oh, this is. Oh, this is.
That might have been a little energetic reaching.
Yeah.
Just a little. We like to play and have fun. Okay. So I will, is there anything else that we want to say before we wrap this up? Oh, just an FYI, you guys, registration for the retreat ends tomorrow, and there are only 3 more spaces left. So if you've been on the fence and you've been thinking about it, you can contact me through creationtemple.com, or you can send me a PM here on Facebook. And if you want to see if this retreat is for you or not, you can contact me and we'll figure it out together. There are only 3 more spaces left, so I'm getting really excited and working with the energy of excitement, turning it into bliss so that I'm calm and centered, but I'm still excited. We're working on it. We're working on it. That's a whole other topic. We'll talk about that at a different time. I love you guys. Thanks for joining.
And thanks for having me. Yeah.
You know, this is actually your idea, so thank you.
Right. But you're still sharing me with the people. So.
Oh my gosh, I would share you with everyone.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
This is what I love about Max. Okay, so if you ever get to meet Max in person, he is the best hugger ever. Ever. And I love watching him hug people, because the experience that people go through when they receive a hug from him, it's absolutely magical and beautiful, and I love it. And I love that I love it because it means that I've really done my work around jealousy or whatever it could be, you know, if he hugs another woman. I love that because he's very good at nurturing the divine feminine. And I love watching and observing women receive his sacred masculine energy through a hug and the transformation they experience. So if you ever get to meet Max in person and get a hug from him, you will be blessed.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Kind. Thank you for being you. I love you.
Thank you for being you.
Thanks for being part of my heaven on earth. And thank you guys for being part of my heaven on earth. Thank you for showing up for my live streams and being part of my community. And if you want to share your vision of heaven on earth in the Creation Temple, you can be a free member and share that. I don't remember the exact link. I'll post it. But you guys can join the Creation Temple as a free member. You can submit what you are creating from your heart, your soul, your creations of light, your version of heaven on earth. And that will be put into that group space, that sacred space, that sacred container that is the Creation Temple. And your creation will be amplified and loved and blessed. Yeah. So please do that if you feel called. All right, lots of love, you guys. Mwah! We'll see you in the next video.
Have a great time.